Hi friends, this is a short and sweet video to calm the nervous system and to reground into the body. A majority of the movements that we're going to do are based in somatic work, and somatic work emphasizes interoception. So similar to how introspection is the deep reflection of our own thoughts and our emotions, interoception is the deep awareness and observation of sensations that are occurring within the physical body. So we're going to start today's practice with one of my favorite tools as far as a little bit of stress relief. So it's called the FAST tool, and FAST stands for First Aid Stress Technique. So it doesn't matter which hand you start with first, but when we lay down on the ground, we're going to take the palm of our hand onto our forehead. And the three fingers, forefinger, middle finger, and ring finger on the opposite hand, are going to come to the inside edge of the wrist, just below thumb line. So as if you wanted to take your own pulse. So you're going to hold those 3 points when we come down on our back, and then we'll switch it up. And I'll just guide you through the process then. Just wanted to show you right here because it's a little bit more simple. So go ahead and lay down on your back. And it's up to you if you would like to lay down with your feet on the floor, knees bent, maybe even knees knock in, or if you'd like the legs completely straight. Just see what works for your body today. And today might look very different than anything that you did yesterday, or if you've ever just laid down on the floor. Try not to compare it to any of those other times, but really be present with how your body is feeling and responding, just getting down to the floor. So I notice that my body is kind of twitchy. I want to move a lot, so I'm going to allow myself to do that. If you're the same way, you have to make all these little micro adjustments, or if you just want to move the ankles, fingers, wrists, whatever, go ahead and do that. And then eventually allowing yourself to almost accidentally even come into a place of physical stillness. Then once you get there, notice if it might feel nice for your body to take a couple deep breaths in and out. Now would be a nice time to maybe even take a big breath in through the nose and out of the mouth, but really just start to feel into how your body wants to breathe with you right now. Maybe letting out a little gentle sigh or an audible sound of any kind that just wants to emerge so that you can arrive into this moment. Then we'll start with our FAST tool. Let's go ahead and start with the palm of the left hand on the forehead, and then go ahead and bring the 3 fingers that we talked about before, index, middle, and ring, to that area of the inner wrist below thumb line. And allow your fingers on the palm of your left hand to just dissolve, and let your arms relax as much as they can. And then just start to focus on steady breath in and out through the nose. We'll be here for about 60 seconds. So we're on some acupressure points here. These particular acupressure points that we are utilizing help to bring the body into homeostasis and kind of recalibrate it. And allow yourself for the remaining about 40 seconds to think of anything stressful that's been lingering with you. Instead of pushing it out, I want you to invite it in, and not in a way that you necessarily react to it, but just let it be present with you and notice how you feel. And if you do feel yourself coming into a little bit of a stress response, just see if you can take some deeper breaths through it. Usually if the body gets a little bit stressed with a thought, our breath will change. So if you can maintain long, steady breathing here for the last 20 seconds, while you allow yourself to think about anything that stressed you out for the day or anything that may be lingering from the week, whatever it is, just allowing it to be present with you and knowing that your breath and these acupressure points are here to support you in creating space, whatever that tension is. And nice and slow, just go ahead and switch up the hand position. So palm of the right hand now on the forehead. Your 3 fingers on the inside of the wrist. Maybe right here, just taking a deeper breath to kickstart this side. Just allowing yourself to create space with your breath and with the support of this tool to invite in that stressor that's been with you, to be totally present with you. And just breathing through it. And you don't only have to focus on the stressor, right? You can feel into that and then take a moment to disengage from it just a moment so that you can feel your breath deepen. So that you can feel your awareness into your body deepen. And then from that place, observing that stressor, kind of titrating between the two. And about one more solid breath that'll put you there in time. And bringing the arms off to the side. So arms are not super close into the body, but just a little bit further out to the body on the sides. We're going to start with a really gentle, soft rolling pattern here. So take the sole of the right foot, or excuse me, if your legs aren't already straight, go ahead and straighten them out. And then we'll all bend the right knee so that the sole of the foot is on the ground. And then from here, you'll go ahead and press into your right foot so that you gently start to roll over onto the side of your body, and then maybe even bring the right knee out in front of you as you roll. And so we'll be coming onto the belly from this point. So just kind of letting yourself organically get there. You don't even have to worry about moving the arms. And as you come onto your belly, let the right cheek come down to the ground. And then wherever the right arm lands, just let it land there. Mine just kind of falls off to the side naturally. And then slowly start to rebend the knee into the chest as you take your gaze back out in front of you. Keep your right knee bent as you bring your right arm all the way out to the side, and then eventually let the right leg come all the way back down until you're laying down on your back. And just take a breath there. And then we'll do the same thing on the second side. So bending your left knee so that the sole of the foot is on the ground. You're just going to gently push into the foot until you start to come onto the side of the body. And as you roll there, allow your left knee to come onto the floor in front of you. Just let your left arm dangle, and then eventually laying down on your belly, straightening your left leg back, and taking your left cheek on the ground. And just taking a big breath in and out. And then slowly starting to bring and turn the head as you bring the left knee in towards the chest. And you'll roll all the way onto your back again. So this is all we're going to do now. For the next few repetitions, and it's on your own, just going onto the right side first, and then eventually rolling onto the belly. And breathing. It's not like necessarily yogic breath where you have to Think about Ujjayi Pranayama if you're a yoga practitioner. It's just soft guided breath as you move. And you can pause as we did in the beginning, right? So to each position that you come in, you might stay for a full breath, or maybe you're just constantly moving. And maybe one rolling pattern just flows right into the next one. So there's really no stopping point. But again, it's totally up to you and what feels best. Maybe pausing for a moment and really feeling what's going on is the better approach for you today. And just noticing if you get into any position that feels uncomfortable or that you want to try to avoid, just noticing what's there, how it feels. If you can soften into it, you can find a way to just kind of ease in. Instead of resisting anything, just kind of opening up into the softness. And the last couple that we'll do here together, if your eyes are open, I invite you to do the next couple with your eyes closed. And vice versa, if your eyes were closed, open up your eyes and see if having your eyes open changes the experience for you at all. Rolling patterns are really, really great for grounding. Really nice work for the nervous system. To just feel that safety and security of the ground underneath you. And there's absolutely no rush here, but the next time that you lay down on your back, just go ahead and stay. Again, with knees bent or legs straight. And just noticing how you feel. Noticing if the breath wants to breathe differently. Just noticing how you feel as opposed to when we first started, when you first sat down. Beautiful. And then from here, go ahead and bend both knees. We'll do a little bit of rotational work here. So bend both knees over to the left and kind of come into fetal pose on your left side. So you're laying on your left side. Both arms are outstretched in front of your chest. Both palms of the hands are stacked on top of one another. Now slowly start to slide your right hand further than your left hand. And keeping your right fingertips on the floor, create a circle reaching all the way up over your head and then all the way out to the right so that your chest starts to open up towards the ceiling. And if your right leg lifts like mine did, that's great. That's totally fine. Your legs can move. They don't have to stay in a stuck position. And then we'll do the same thing in reverse. So fingertips stay on the ground as you circle the arm overhead, fingertips feeling the floor as you move, and then the hands stack on top of one another. And you'll go through that a few times on your own. And maybe a breath wants to be present for each segment. Maybe it's a long, deep inhale as you circle open, and an exhale to just stay. Or even an exhale to close the circle. And almost just feeling the arm initiating the movement and the rest of your body just following however it wants to. And really noticing if there's an area of your body that doesn't want to move with this whole motion, if something gets stuck. For instance, notice as you open your arm out to the side, if your hip doesn't want to move. I'm just noticing if you can soften into any resistance at all that starts to present itself to you. And then the next time that you roll all the way onto the left side, just take a pause, take a breath. Just notice how you feel. And then we'll do the same thing on the right side. So laying down on your back and then rolling all the way over to the right. Arms stretched out in front of you. Reaching the top hand further than your right hand out in front of you. And then keeping the fingertips on the floor as you circle the arm all the way overhead and out to the left. And just noticing how the different parts of your body move and follow. Noticing if anything gets stuck or if anything feels stiff. You don't need to force anything here. It's just the gentle permission to release out of any resistance. And the invitation to track a movement with your breath. Maybe on this side, every exhale initiates a movement, and an inhale is just held in stillness, or vice versa. And just feeling and noticing if a sigh wants to arrive. And completing one more repetition. Again, there's no sense of urgency here, there's no rush. And the next time that you come all the way back into fetal pose on your right side, just stay for a breath. And then slowly come back to your back, knees bent or legs straight. So I started with legs straight, but my knees wanted to stay bent and knees knocking for this time around. So I'm going to honor that. And just deepening into your body. Deepening into this experience of aliveness. And just taking a couple breaths to feel the weight of your body laying down on the ground. And the ground coming up to support you from underneath. And my friends, the invitation is for you to stay a bit longer if you'd like to deepen into this experience for as long as you need. Otherwise, this concludes our very soft and sweet practice together. I hope that you enjoyed. Take care.